to our event today, a very special event, the grand opening of new IOI Galleria at Bandar Putra Kulai.
A key success factor is value creation for our buyers. At the planning stage, we ensure that we include comprehensive amenities and facilities that will enable the communities to thrive within our integrated development. Caring for the environment lies at the heart of our properties group. Hence, we are in the midst of planning a biodiversity site within Bandar Putra Kulai.
The Bandar Putra Kulai Integrated Township is a flagship development by IOI Properties in Johor. Over a period spanning 28 years, this 5,700 acres development is now a matured, thriving and self-sustaining township with over 50,000 residents.
Cut the ribbon! There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the grand opening of new IOI Galleria at Bandar Putra Kulai. Please,
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the board, I welcome you to the 10th AGM of IOI Properties Group Berhad, which is held virtually in compliance with Section 327 of the Companies Act 2016 and Article 70 of the Company's Constitution. The conduct of this virtual AGM is also in accordance with Securities Commission's Malaysia's guidance note and the FAQ, frequently asked questions on the conduct of the general meetings for listed issuers and its subsequent amendment. The company will continue to leverage on technology to facilitate communication and engagement with shareholders by conducting the 10th AGM on a virtual basis via remote participation and electronic voting facilities. As we embrace the new norm, I thank all of you for your virtual presence and continuous support for the company. Together with all my fellow directors, we are indeed very happy to connect with you and answer any queries that you may have relating to the agenda for today's meeting. Before we proceed with the business of this AGM, I will explain the conduct of the meeting today. Firstly, we will start by putting forth all the resolutions. After all agenda items have been tabled, we will proceed to the Q&A session to address questions related to the agenda items and resolutions tabled for approval at this meeting. You may pose questions by clicking Ask a Questions button at the bottom of your webcast screen and select Type your questions during the course of this AGM. Questions can be submitted at any time until the announcement of closure of the question and answer session. The voting session will be open at a time which I will announce later during this meeting. Once the voting session is open, you may vote at any time during the meeting proceedings until the completion of the Q&A session. We will try our level best to answer all questions submitted to us. For questions which are related or similar in nature, we'll group the questions and provide a single response. Before proceeding with the agenda for today's meeting, let me introduce my fellow directors and members of senior management in attendance today. With me, from my far left at the broadcast venue, are our non-independent, non-executive directors, Ms. Lee Yok Ha, and Dato' Lee Yao Cho, followed by our Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Melissa Tan Sui Ping. Next to the CFO is our Chief Executive Officer, Dato' Woon Tin Yao. And next is our Executive Vice Chairman, Mr. Lee Yao Sing. On my immediate right, we have our Company Secretary, Ms. Chi Ban Tak, followed by our Independent Non-Executive Director, Dato' Lee Se Sin, Dato' Dr. Tan Kim Hyong, and Mr. Chan Cha Lin. Also present at this broadcast venue are Mr. Su Hu Kun Yin, the Country Managing Partner of Pricewaterhouse PLT, and Ms. Tae Chun Ling, the audit partner of PwC. They will be available to answer any questions relating to their auditor's report later on. I wish to advise that under Article 65 of the company's constitution, the quorum necessary for the transaction of business at a general meeting shall be 2 members present personally or by proxy or by corporate representative entitled to vote. The company secretary has confirmed that the requisite quorum is present, and I shall now call the meeting to order. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice of the AGM has been issued and published within the stipulated time and advertised in the Star. If there are no objections, we shall take the notice as read. In my capacity as chairman of the meeting, I have been appointed as a proxy by some shareholders and will be voting in accordance to their instructions. In compliance with main market listing requirement of Bursa Malaysia, all ordinary resolutions set out in the notice of AGM will be voted by poll. Therefore, in my capacity as chairman of the meeting, I hereby demand a poll to be taken on all the resolutions pursuant to Article 73 of the Company Act's constitutions. The company's poll administrator, KPMG Management and Risk Consulting Sdn Berhad, will conduct the electronic polling. And Sky Corporate Services Sdn Berhad will act as independent scrutineers to validate the votes cast at the meeting. KPMG will now play a video presentation on the function available within the convened AGM online meeting platform.
AGM at Convene allows you to fully participate in the meeting anywhere you are. Let's get started. For questions, select Ask a Question. Click Type your question. Here's how to vote. Cast your vote on the desired option. Select Next to see other resolutions and vote accordingly. Should you want to change your vote, click on Cancel Vote and vote again. Need some extra help? Simply select Contact Support and chat with our help desk to talk to our friendly team.
Thank you, KPMG. Ladies and gentlemen, online voting is now open to allow you to cast your votes. Please note that voting can be done at any time during the meeting proceedings until the completion of the Q&A sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now present our group financial performance for the financial year ending 30th of June 2022. Allow me to invite our Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Melissa Tan, to conduct her presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Chairman. Good morning, shareholders. I will present now the financial results for the group for the year ended 30th June 2022. For the year 2022, we have achieved group sales of 1.93 billion, and out of this 1.93 billion, 1.48 billion came from Malaysia, and that comprises approximately 77%. And the remaining 450 million was derived from China, and that contributed about 23% to the group sales. Right. In terms of group revenue, we have achieved 2.6 billion, And we have increased from financial year ended 2021, a 4% increase to FY 2022. For group operating profit, our PBT came in at 1.04 billion, and that represents a 16% increase from FY 2021, recording 894 million. Overall, the sales momentum in Malaysia sustained with a 5% increase, and we have also managed to successfully clear inventory at a clearance rate of 27%, which was powered by our campaigns HOC and IOI Extend. Overall, the lower sales of 48% versus FY 2021 was due to lesser available units available for sales in IOI Palm City in the People's Republic of China. Despite a very challenging year, our revenue has increased by 4% from 2.49 billion to 2.59 billion. And the operating profit, as briefed earlier, that has also increased by 16%. Overall, our earnings per share has also increased by 4%, and this has given us the privilege of a dividend payout ratio of 32% as declared. I'll now bring you through on the total revenue performance for FY 2022 by segment and region. As you can see on the round donut chart, the property development sector brought in 81% of the total revenue at RM 2.1 billion, and property investment contributed 364 million at 14%, hospitality and leisure at 113 million, which contributes 4%, and a small component of project and building services at 11 million at 1%. In terms of region, the blue color chart actually represents Malaysia, and that came in at 1.96 billion, which is 76%, and 632 million at 24% came from China. So the overall revenue segment was anchored by property development, and that is approximately 78% recorded from sales of completed projects. We also saw higher revenue contributed by property investment from IOI Mall Xiamen, which was completed end of 2021. The increase in percentage rent from IOI malls in Malaysia also gave rise to the increase in our revenue. And we also saw a boost from hospitality and leisure segment following the relaxation of travel restrictions and reopening of borders. For FY 2022 operating profit performance, here is a snapshot of the various contributions from different segments. Property development contributed 902 million, recording 87%. And property investment, 161 million at 15%. Hospitality and leisure, we have actually recorded a loss, 29 million. That is a narrow loss compared to last year due to the boost in travel and also reopening of borders. So Malaysian operations, as I briefed earlier, 70%, which is RM 726 million, that contributed to the operating profit, as well as 333 million, which is 32% from China operations. So we saw a strong recovery across all segments in Malaysia, and our group operating profit margins has actually increased to 40%, while our hospitality and leisure segment losses actually narrowed for FY 2022. This results also took into consideration a property development cost written off of 171 million from China due to the recent transacted prices within vicinity of the project being lower than cost. In terms of our financial position for FY 2022, the breakdown shows a combination of the various total assets. And we saw an 18% increase in terms of total assets. This was largely driven by the strengthening of investment properties portfolio with the ongoing construction of IOI Central Boulevard Towers in Singapore and office towers and hotels in Xiamen. We also saw an expansion of our geographical footprint in Singapore with a planned mixed-use development at Marina View. And we also saw the completion of Xiang'an project in Xiamen with a wide product range to appeal to a broader customer base. Right? And we also achieved high clearance rate of our unsold stocks, generating GDV of approximately 1.18 billion. And this was a result of our continued financial discipline across the group as well. And other assets contributed by the acquisition of Marina View, which is the hotel component. In terms of financial position, overall equities, total equities and liabilities, we also correspondingly saw an 18% increase, and this has led to a net assets per share increase by 16%, mainly due to our better earnings achieved. Our earnings per share has increased by 4%, and borrowings have also increased due to the additional funding obtained for the acquisition of Marina View in Singapore. And our reduction in taxes came mainly due to the settlement of land appreciation tax in People's Republic of China, which has since been provided for in prior years. So our total assets for the group stands at 39.5 billion. Some key financial ratios for FY 2022. Net assets per share for FY 2022 is ringgit $3.71. It's also a 5% increase from FY 2021. And this is largely due to the growing development property and investment property portfolio that we have acquired in Singapore. And we are also the largest property developer by asset size. In terms of earnings per share, we recorded a 4% increase to 12.47 cents. And this is largely again contributed by better financial performance across all business segments. On the back of a good financial performance, we have also proposed and declared a dividend of 4 cents, final dividend 4 cents per ordinary share. And this is an increase in dividend payout ratio of 92% compared against FY 2021. With that, I thank you and I end my presentation.
Thank you, Melissa. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now proceed with the agenda for today's AGM. I'll read out agenda items before we proceed to the Q&A session. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statements for the financial year ended 30th June 2022 and the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. The audited financial statements are laid in accordance with Section 340 of the Companies Act 2016. As this item is for discussion only and do not require shareholders' approval, I will not put it forward for voting. Summary of the group's financial overview and performance highlights for the financial year 2022 are set out on page 24 to 30 of the integrated annual report. Further details of the group financial and business review for property development, property investment, and leisure and hospitality segments are outlined on page 32 to 45 of the annual report. The second item on the agenda is to approve the payment of first and final single-tier dividend of 4 cents per ordinary shares for the financial year ended 30th June 2022. The first and final single-tier dividend, if approved, will be payable on 2nd December 2022. To all the shareholders whose names appear in the record of depositors and register of members of the company at the close of business on 23rd November 2022. The third item on the agenda deals with re-election of directors who is to retire by rotations in accordance with Article 91 of the company's constitution and being eligible and offer themselves for re-election. As I'm one of the directors standing for re-election, I shall now hand over the chair to Dr. Kim Tan to conduct the proceeding for this agenda item. Dr. Kim Tan.
Thank you, Dr. Chairman. The directors who are standing for re-election today at this AGM are our Chairman, Datuk Tan Kim Leong, and also our Executive Vice Chairman, Mr. Lee Yao Seng. Both Datuk Tan Kim Leong and Mr. Lee Yao Seng have undergone the relevant performance evaluation, including a fit and proper assessment for the financial year under review. Upon the assessment conducted by our Governance, Nominating and Remuneration Committee, we have concluded that both Datuk Tan and Mr. Lee have demonstrated their effectiveness and value as members of the board, and that they continue to show their total commitment to their roles. Their profiles can be found on pages 126 and 127 of the annual report. I shall now hand over the chair back to Datuk Tan to continue with the rest of the agenda items.
Thank you, Dr. Kim Tan. The fourth item on the agenda is to approve the payment of directors' fees, inclusive of board committee fees of 1.3 million for the financial year ended 30th June 2023, payable quarterly in arrears after each month of completed services of the directors during the financial year. The directors' fee structure is disclosed on page 152 of the Integrated Annual Report under the Corporate Governance Overview Statement. The next item of the agenda is to approve the payment of directors' benefit other than directors' fees of up to an aggregate amount of 290,000 for a period from 9 November 2022 until the next AGM. The directors' benefit payable for the said period comprise meeting allowances, insurance coverages, non-cash benefit in kind, and the golf privilege benefit for the independent non-executive directors. The 290,000 is an estimated maximum amount. The actual amount of directors' benefit will be known only at the time of the next AGM. Let us now proceed to the sixth item of the agenda, that is, to reappoint PricewaterhouseCoopers PLT as auditors for the financial year ending 30 June 2023, and to authorize the Audit Committee to fix their remuneration. This resolution is proposed by your board based on its Audit Committee's recommendation. And having been satisfied with the result of the annual assessment of PwC has expressed their willingness to continue in office. The ordinary resolution under item 7 of the agenda, proposed as a special business, is to seek renewal of the authority for the company to purchase up to 10% of the total number of issued shares of the company. The details of the proposed renewal of the existing share buyback authority are stated in the share buyback statement dated 7 October 2022. I shall now take the text of this resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. Item 8 of the agenda is to transact any other business of which due notice shall have been given. I have been informed earlier by the Company Secretary that there is no other business to be transacted. Ladies and gentlemen, since all resolutions have been tabled, I shall now open the Q&A session. We have received a letter from the Minority Shareholders Watch Group, MSWG, on their questions for our AGM. For the benefit of our shareholders, let me invite our CEO, Dr. Woon, to present our answer to NSWG's questions. Dr. Woon, please.
Thank you, Dr. Chairman, and a very good morning to all shareholders. I shall read questions and provide our response. Question number 1, the group's net gearing ratio of 0.47 in FY 2021 has increased to 0.71 in FY 2022 due to the acquisition of Marina View in Singapore. What is the measures taken to reduce the group's net gearing from further deteriorating? And B, what is the group's optimal net gearing ratio? The gearing of 0.71 times is mainly due to the 2 projects currently in progress in Singapore, and the gearing will gradually be reduced once IOI Central Boulevard Towers are completed and the residential components of Marina View is launched, which is targeted next year. There is no optimal gearing level set as the group has recently expanded in Singapore. However, we will maintain a balance between the group's expansionary plan and an optimal capital structure. The group will continue to monitor closely these projects to ensure that they are completed and positioned to contribute positively to the earnings of the group in the near future. Question number 2. The group's property sales in the People's Republic of China was affected by the debt crisis faced by the Chinese property developers, the PRC's zero-COVID policy, as well as the prolonged Russian invasion of Ukraine. The debt crisis faced by the Chinese property developer has resulted in Chinese buyers' reluctance to buy houses and make repayment on their housing loans. A, please explain how badly the company's property sales has been affected by the negative sentiment in China by indicating the number of units sold before the negative news and the current sales pursuant to the negative sentiment in the China property market. Property sales from China operations in FY22 was lower than FY21 by 149 million ringgit. The reduction in sales is not purely due to the negative sentiment in China, but also attributable to the fewer units available for sales in IOI Palm City and a slower take-up rate in IOI Palm International Park House due to stiff price competition. B, what are the measures taken to ensure the company's properties in Xiamen will continue to sell? Our response, the measures taken by the group are as follows. We leverage on online and offline advertisement and promotion campaigns to market our completed projects. We expand our product marketability and network base via engagements with a wider pool of distribution agents. We have completed 3 mock-up units to showcase the various designs to boost the saleability at IOI Palm International Park House. We have also set up an in-house property management team to strengthen the after-sales service. Question number 3. It was reported in China's newspaper recently that the government of PRC is still maintaining a strict zero COVID policy. A, please explain whether the zero COVID policy has an impact on the footfall to the IOI Mall, Xiamen. If yes, what is the drop in footfall? Our response: IOI Mall, Xiamen commenced operations in October 2021 with an occupancy rate of approximately 92%. We are pleased with the performance of the mall since its launch, particularly the sales of performance of the restaurants. We saw a reduction in footfall by approximately 25% during strict movement control and operating procedures implemented by the Chinese government in August 2022. However, traffic and footfall has gradually increased by October 2022. B, what are the measures taken by the company to mitigate the zero COVID policy impact on IOI Mall Xiamen, and how effective are the measures in terms of gain in footfall to the mall? The measures taken by the group to mitigate the zero COVID policy impact are as follows. Our mall's tenant mix is aligned to the needs of shoppers apart from offering variety of outdoor activities to maintain the mall's popularity as a multi-purpose and experiential driven destination. We collaborate with tenants to organize activities and promotions campaigns at the mall. Using social media and digital platforms, we keep customers engaged on the mall's activities, promotions, and voucher offerings. And to ensure the mall's occupancy level remains healthy, we support our tenants with various measures such as rent rebates, installment plans, and online promotions. At the recent 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, the Chinese government has expressed their determination to reopen the economy, and we anticipate that it will gradually implement a more relaxed and business-friendly movement control until the economy is fully restored. Question number 4. The hospitality and leisure segment recorded 113.9 million ringgit revenue in FY 2022 compared to 83.6 million ringgit revenue in FY 2021, an increase of 30.3 million or 36.2%. However, this segment still recorded a loss of 29.2 million in FY 2022 compared to a loss of 29.8 million ringgit in FY 2021. A, please explain why the hospitality and leisure segment still suffer a loss in FY 2022 with an increase in revenue. Our response: the hospitality and leisure segment registered a loss despite an increase in revenue in FY 22, which was mainly attributable to the depreciation charge on the hotel component of the newly acquired leasehold land in Singapore. However, we are pleased that the reopening of the economy in Malaysia and Singapore has presented opportunities for us to capitalize on the tourism and hospitality sectors. We have seen a strong recovery in domestic travel and contributions from Marriott International's travel program. B, please provide a breakdown of the hospitality leisure segment loss by hotels and golf courses respectively for FY 2022 and FY 2021. And C, what are the measures taken to turn around this segment and when it is expected to return to profit? Our response: the breakdown of the hospitality and leisure segment loss by hotel and golf courses is as follows. For hotels, we had an operating loss of 23 million in FY 2021 and 30 million loss in FY 2022. And for the golf courses, there was 4 million loss in both the year FY 2021 and FY 2022. And for leisure, we have a profit of 5 million compared to a loss of 2 million in FY 21, right? So thereby registering a rebound of 7 million. That explains the total losses remain the same, roughly at 29 billion for both the financial years. And C, the measures taken to turn around hospitality and leisure segments include, one, we are in the midst of refurbishing Putrajaya Marriott Hotel and Palm Gardens hotels in stages over the next 3 years to upscale our products offerings and service levels. In addition to the existing attractions like D21 Adventure Park, the Olympic-sized ice skating ring, and a 38-lane bowling center, we have added an edutainment park, IOI's City Farm, and also IOI Sports Center in IOI City Mall to further improve the overall attractions of IOI Resort City as a lifestyle destination. We also focus on more corporate travel accounts to tap into new markets, including the Middle East and India for leisure and group travels. Question number 5. The opening of IOI City Mall Phase 2 with approximately 1 million square feet of net lettable area has positioned IOI City Mall to be one of the largest malls in Malaysia. What is the current occupancy rate of IOI City Mall Phase 2? And B, what is the expected gross and net rental income per year for IOI City Mall Phase 2? As at 30th September 2022, IOI City Mall Phase 2 has secured a total occupancy rate of approximately 80%. IOI City Mall Phase 2 is expected to generate rental income of approximately 70 million in its first year of business commencement. Question number 6. To strike a balance of maintaining quality whilst having a sustainable margin, the group has implemented industrialized building system, or IBS, and incorporate creative home designs in the property development projects. What is the expected savings in percentage terms when using IBS as compared to conventional building methods? Our response: IBS does not always result in savings. It does allow for faster construction time, better control of quality, and less reliance on labor. In some instances, we do achieve savings of up to 10%. B, how extensively is IBS being used in the group's property projects? And C, please name the property projects with which IBS has been used extensively. Our response: all our ongoing high-rise projects meet the minimum IBS score following the guidelines issued by the government. And current projects such as GEM's residences in IOI Resort City and the Ling House project in Berhad currently use IBS extensively. Okay, with regards to corporate governance, question number 1. The company has departed from Practice 5.1 of the Malaysian Corporate Governance, MCCG, for not having 30% women directors on the board, and the company mentioned that it will take 2 years to comply with the practice. However, the board mentioned in the latest integrated annual report, it is committed to appoint 2 women independent non-executive directors in FY 2023. Please explain the contradiction. Our response? We wish to clarify that the statements are not contradictory. The board has a timeline. The board has set a timeline of 2 years to achieve the gender diversity of 30% targeted on the board composition. Nonetheless, the board intends to appoint 2 female independent non-executive directors in FY 2023 as part of our board succession exercise. And in that process, it also helped to fulfill the 30% gender diversity target. Question number 2. Why IOI Properties Group Berhad is not holding a hybrid AGM as IOI Corporation Berhad? Our response? In view of a new variant and rising cases, we have decided to continue leveraging on technology to facilitate communication and engagement with shareholders by conducting our AGM in a virtual basis. We will continue to evaluate the modes of convening our AGM in 2023. That's all. Thank you.
Dr. Woon, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now respond to questions relating to the agenda items that are tabled at this meeting. We shall first address questions which are pre-submitted by our shareholders prior to today's meeting. After that, we will answer questions received from the online meeting platform. I will now invite the CEO to respond to the pre-submitted questions.
Thank you, Chairman. Question number 1 from shareholder Hugh Yun Sun. What is the future plan to strengthen the financial position of the group? Our response? IOI Properties Group has a diversified portfolio in properties development, property investment, hospitality and leisure activities with geographical footprints in Malaysia, Singapore and China. For a property development segment, the group has remaining land bank of 9,000 acres, of which 5,000 acres are with development plans and have a GDV of approximately 60 billion ringgit to sustain the financial growth of the group. During financial year 2022, the group further expanded its presence in Singapore with the acquisition of Marina View land to strengthen its property development and hospitality portfolio. The completion of IOI City Mall, Phase 2 in August 2022, complements the recurring income and earnings of the group's property investment and hospitality segments. We also expect stronger financial performance to be contributed from the completion of IOI Central Boulevard Towers in Singapore, Sheraton Grand Hotel and boutique offices in Xiamen, China, in the years to come. B, will the company provide higher returns to the shareholders? The company has been distributing annual dividend payments to our loyal shareholders since it was listed in 2014. And this year, we have proposed a final dividend of 4 cents, despite a very challenging year in operations. We will endeavor to do better and reward shareholders. C, has the succession plan been put in place? A sustainable framework of identifying and development of successors has been approved for implementation. The company has set up a talent review council to identify successors for critical role, and the identified successors will go through a series of assessment and development plans beginning next year to equip themselves with the necessary skills to be ready for the identified roles in the near term. Question number 2 from shareholders Ganwei Singh. Due to the current workers and materials issues, does the company have any solution to resolve the matter? Our response, we will actively adopt industrialized building systems to reduce reliance on labor and diversify the sourcing of materials. At the same time, we are also identifying alternative materials to counter the disruption of supply. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Woon. As we have dealt with the pre-submitted AGM questions, let us move to the question received via the online meeting platform. Please be informed that our CEO will take on questions relating to operational and strategic matters, while the CFO will take on the questions relating to financial and governance matters. I will now invite them to start a Q&A session.
I will take this question. IOI Mall Xiamen was launched in October 2021 with an occupancy rate of 92.2%, and management is pleased with the performance since its launch. Considering that the performance of IOI Mall Xiamen is satisfactory, why does the mall need to recognize a fair value loss of 98.4 million in FY 2022? Question 2. The answer for this, the current fair value loss of 98.4 million recorded for IOI Mall Xiamen in FY 2022 was to reverse the fair value gain of approximately 64 million, which we recorded for the land since FY 2023, and this partial write-down of interest costs incurred because of the construction period having to extend to a longer period. Next question. This question was submitted by Chua Song Yun, shareholder. Over the past 3 years, our group has recognized significant write-down in property development costs. And A, this write-down is for which projects? And for what are the causes of this write-down? B, does this suggest that the realizable value of these units is lower than the development cost? C, why is the write-down increasing significantly over the last 3 years? For the answers to A and B, the group has recorded a property development cost written down in value of 171 million, and this was largely attributable to the development projects in IOI Palm International Park House, Xiang'an. The property development cost written down is mainly due to the net realizable value being lower than the cost, of which the net realizable value includes the estimated selling prices by reference to the recent signed sales and purchase agreements, which are net of discounts for completed units. And also, the answer to question C, it has been stiff over the last 3 years because of stiff price competition within the vicinity. Next question submitted by shareholder Teh Peng Tin. 1, how much does the company spend on this virtual AGM? And 2, would the board kindly give e-vouchers as a token of appreciation for attending today's meeting? 3, I would like to request for a printed hard copy of the company's annual report. And 4, would the board kindly consider changing the share registrar, especially senior citizens Sorry, where's the question now? Especially senior citizens find it very complicated to register to join the meeting for every AGM through this share registrar. To answer 1 and 2, thank you for your attendance today. And the cost for this virtual AGM is approximately 120,000. And we regret to inform that there will be no door gifts or e-vouchers given to shareholders or proxies attending this AGM. And for the request on the annual report, we will be able to deliver a good copy to yourself upon request being made. And kindly be informed that the meeting platform is provided by our poll administrator, KPMG, and not our share registrar. We will take note of the feedback and we will consider the mode of meeting for the next AGM. Our next question, submitted by shareholder Chua Song Yun. Our group's return on equity has been low at less than 4% over the past 5 years. This explains why our share price is traded at a big discount to our net asset per share of 3.71 ringgit. A, which assets are low yielding and what are the plans for these assets? B, what is management's plan in dealing with the low return on equity? And I would like to answer. Out of the total assets of 39.5 billion, we have total assets under construction of approximately 16.2 billion, and that's approximately 41% of our total assets. We also have investment properties under construction of 10.7 billion, mainly due to IOI Central Boulevard in Singapore, and hotel under construction of ringgit 1.7 billion, which is the Marina View Hotel and Sheraton Grand Hotel. We also have Marina View Residence of 3.8 billion. So all this will generate income. All this will generate income when the assets are completed in the years to come. So on that note, we also wish to share that our ROE is not low compared against the larger property competitors such as SP Setia and Sime Darby, which are also trading around 1.5 to 2% ROE. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take the next question. This question is from shareholder Hugh Chi Kong. And how is the minimum wage affect the company? Our answers. There are no significant impact on our properties group arising from the implementation of minimum wage, as the minimum pay scale of IOI Properties Group Berhad staff are already within the range of 1,005 before the implementation of the minimum wage by the Malaysian government.
Which of the mall is performing better? IOI Mall or IOI City Mall? This question was submitted by shareholder Hui Chi Kiong. To answer this, we are pleased to represent that both malls are actually performing satisfactorily. And of the two malls, IOI City Mall has a higher growth in revenue of about 22% and operating profit of 34%. Next question, submitted by shareholder Lee Kwai Yung. Please advise how many participants are there in this virtual AGM? And we would like to know the cost of holding a virtual AGM against a physical AGM. There are approximately a total of 203 shareholders attending our AGM today. And with regards to the cost of holding this AGM, as indicated earlier, the cost is approximately 120,000, while the cost of our physical AGM in 2019 was significantly higher. Yeah. But in the interest of everybody's well-being, we have decided to conduct it virtually this year. Yeah.
We have the next question from shareholders Chung Kam Ho. Question is there any land owned by IOI and IOI Properties development near the Genting Senyang near KLIA? Yes, we have 325 acres land earmarked for the development of an industrial park. Thank you.
Okay. That's the end of the question we received from the floor, from this meeting here. Thank you, Dr. Woon and Melissa. We sincerely thank all shareholders for all your questions. Since there's no further questions, I shall now declare the Q&A session as closed. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now allocate additional 5 minutes for those shareholders who have yet to vote. We anticipate that counting of the votes by poll administrator and validation by the independent scrutineers of the results will take about 5 minutes after the conclusion of voting session. In the meantime, we shall play our corporate video for IOI City Mall Phase 2, IOI Galleria at Kulai, Johor, Clio 2 and Patui Residence projects at our IOI City. The meeting will later assume upon receiving poll results verified by the scrutineers. Now, the countdown starts. For those who have not cast their votes, kindly proceed to do so.
How to cast your vote. Exit full screen mode to start submitting your vote. On the right side of the video screen, you should see the portion to cast your votes per resolution. Click on Next to see other resolutions and vote accordingly. Should you want to cancel your vote, simply click on Cancel Vote and vote again accordingly. That's how easy it is to cast your vote. How to cast your vote. Exit full screen mode to start submitting your vote. On the right side of the video screen, you should see the portion to cast your votes per resolution. Click on Next to see other resolutions and vote accordingly. Should you want to cancel your vote, simply click on Cancel Vote and vote again accordingly. That's how easy it is to cast your vote. How to cast your vote. Exit full screen mode to start submitting your vote. On the right side of the video screen, you should see the portion to cast your votes per resolution. Click on Next to see other resolutions and vote accordingly. Should you want to cancel your vote, simply click on Cancel Vote and vote again accordingly. That's how easy it is to cast your vote.
The Phase 2 of IOI City Mall has an additional 1 million square feet of net lettable area, making IOI City Mall the biggest regional retail mall in Malaysia with a total of 2.5 million square feet net lettable area.
elevate our mall as a lifestyle mall. It's more than shopping, entertainment, or food. It is a lifestyle where people come, they meet, family come and spend their time. It's a way that we enable our customers to have their own lifestyle.
Welcome to our event today, a very special event, the grand opening of new IOI Galleria at Bandar Putra Kulai.
A key success factor is value creation for our buyers. At the planning stage, we ensure that we include comprehensive amenities and facilities that will enable the communities to thrive within our integrated development. Caring for the environment lies at the heart of our properties group. Hence, we are in the midst of planning a biodiversity site within Bandar Putra Kulai.
The Bandar Putra Kulai Integrated Township is a flagship development by IOI Properties in Johor. Over a period spanning 28 years, this 5,700 acres development is now a matured, thriving and self-sustaining township with over 50,000 residents.
Cut the ribbon! There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the grand opening of new IOI Galleria at Bandar Putra Kulai.
The phase 2 of IOI City Mall has an additional 1 million square feet of net lettable area, making IOI City Mall the biggest regional retail mall in Malaysia with a total of 2.5 million square feet net lettable area.
Elevate our mall as a lifestyle mall. It's more than shopping, entertainment, or food. It is a lifestyle where people come, they meet, family come and spend their time. It's a way that we enable our customers to have their own lifestyle.
Welcome to our event today, a very special event, the grand opening of new IOI Galleria at Bandar Putra Kulai.
A key success factor is value creation for our buyers. At the planning stage, we ensure that we include comprehensive amenities and facilities that will enable the communities to thrive within our integrated development. Caring for the environment lies at the heart of our properties group. Hence, we are in the midst of planning a biodiversity site within Bandar Putra Kulai.
The Bandar Putra Kulai Integrated Township is a flagship development by IOI Properties in Johor. Over a period spanning 28 years, this 5,700 acres development is now a matured, thriving and self-sustaining township with over 50,000 residents.
What's the ribbon? There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the grand opening new IOI Galleria at Bandar Putra Kulai.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I have received the results of the poll validated by the scrutineer. With the requisite quorum present, we shall now resume the meeting for the declaration of the results. The Secretary will now announce the poll results on my behalf. May I have the poll results on the screen, please?
Gentlemen, the results of the poll for all ordinary resolutions are as follows. Resolution 1, 99.99% for, negligible, against. Resolution 2, 88.23% for, 11.77% against. Resolution 3, 98.27% for, 1.72% against. Resolution 4, 99.99% for, negligible against. Resolution 5, 99.99% for, negligible percent for against. Resolution 6, 99.98% for, 0.01% against. And lastly, Resolution 7, 98.83% for and 1.16% against. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, based on the results of the poll, I hereby declare that all ordinary resolutions for today's meeting are duly carried. With that, I now declare the 10th AGM as concluded. Thank you all for your participation and stay safe.